Riot Games Arena, welcome to Stage 1. Y se forman estrellas y además vuelven leyendas. Que se escuche para KRU Visa.
Making their debut, it's KRU Visa, and that is a sentence that you normally wouldn't be hearing at this stage in the year, but this is a lineup that was not able to compete at kickoff because of visa issues. They missed out on that, and then because of that, they missed out on Santiago as a result of it because they couldn't qualify for it. Now, they have an opportunity here, Mimi, to be able to punch their ticket to London, but it starts here and now with a good performance against their opponents.
A homecoming for Sadak and Les after a rough stint in EMEA. A homecoming for MW Zara, making his re-debut on the Americas stage. For Dante, coming back after last year with KRU. And the same for Silence, a team with some of the best talent from South America, with the winningest leader that region has ever produced, trying to put it together here with the full team finally on stage.
And on the other side, you know them, you love them. Let me hear it for Sentinels!
All right, and it's the Sentinels, crowd favorite squad, but with a very different look coming in to Stage 1. One of the only remaining pieces of this team is John QT on that lineup from the original team, from the team that won over in Masters Madrid. Now they're bringing in Jonah P, the prolific professor, the man who knows how to hit the lineups. He could very well be the thing that this team's looking for.
For sure, they have a lot to prove with this new roster because now you have John QT working with that newer insert of a coach of Ewok. Now they're trying to figure out this identity of the roster because this was a result, again, of what they thought was a little bit of failure from kickoff. So now they're looking to really prove it to themselves. And I think a lot of these roster changes make a lot of sense. It's just a matter if they can succumb to that pressure and make sure they go and step over it. Because again, all these players are so insane individually, mechanically insane. But again, they also do have a sub.
All right, maps here. Lotus, Breeze, and if necessary, we'll be ending things out on Bind. How do you think of all this shakes out there, Emily?
Honestly, when I'm looking at this map pool, I feel like it is very Sen-sided. I'm honestly surprised to see them bringing back Breeze after their last time performing, but it's a new team. We have John back on the IGL role. That looks very exciting to see. And also Lotus, that was a map that he favored too back in Stage 2 of 2025. He felt confident in being able to call on that map. Even though it's a new team, a lot of that map is a lot of that push-pull, a lot of that conditioning. And if your IGL is confident in that he can set up his whole team for that, it feels like a Sen-sided map pick.
Yeah, on the other side though, I think that Sadaka's at IGL has always had some of the most interesting meta reads of pretty much anyone
very creative guy.
Right? If you were watching America's back in 2024, I think it was, when they were playing the Phoenix Breach ideas that he was super on board with. You even look at their time in EMEA playing that Harbor even before the changes. He's always been very unique in the way that he likes to index his agent selects. So I'm super curious with big meta changes, with a lot of questions up in the air. How does Sadak want to play this? Is he going for the standard or is there something interesting again?
And I'm also keeping my eyes on that guy on your screen right there, Victor, for Sentinels, because he's coming in with some big shoes to fill. Jerwin got picked up with a ton of hype, but couldn't be here. Now that he's got to step into that spot, he's just got to get these boys over the finish line.
Different jerseys on both sides, but if you were a fan pre-partnership, this is the best rivalry Valorant ever had. Optic versus Loud Sadak, Victor, those guys duking it out more than any other team has basically played in a year. Get one more little shot at that in very different circumstances and in very different meta, very different roles. It's gonna be so cool to see how Victor has evolved as a player since then with this opportunity.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna step away from a lot of that dive duelist that we've seen and if they're gonna put him into something more interesting, maybe something different. Jerwin, we know he does like to play that dive duelist. We're gonna see a lot of that neon because of those waylay changes, because of all the Yoru issues and stuff. So it's gonna be really, really interesting. But I'm really looking forward to Lotus because this is a map, Emily, you and I, we used to love playing this map. We love doing a lot of these trap setups. We love just getting a lot of that information, and I think it's such a heavy information game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Sky back in it too, because obviously the flash over the wall towards C Mount, trying to get a lot of that information, trying to get that kind of
I'd be shocked if we don't see Sky in play today.
I feel like we're going to see a Sky for sure. So we're going to see her in that action. But I'm also really interested to see, because this is KRU's pick, if they're doing a lot of that trap setups. Because again, I don't know what identity they're going for.
Yeah, one question I kind of wanted to pose to you guys is, if we think about KRU's situation, they've had about 4 months to prep here, right?
Wild card?
That was wild card, but that was also before these new meta changes.
Sure.
So are they starting back at with everyone back to square zero, not running or steering away from that double duelist? Or do you think they were ahead of the meta in that sense?
I think they're on equal footing. There was an interview that we had on Plat Chat this week with Sadak, who he was talking about how they were scrimming while the Santiago tournament was going on. They were down there boot camping, playing against some of the best international teams in the world. So I imagine they were on meta with what was happening at that tournament, and in that way, I think they're going to be on pretty much exactly equal footing as the teams who attended that tournament, but I think better footing than the teams who didn't, having that opportunity to scrim against international competition.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. I mean, you get to stay meta, you get to scrim against the best teams, you stay in your form, and you don't get to show that much VOD on everyone else.
You don't have to do any of the drama of playing officials losing. What happens there? There's a lot of stuff you get to avoid.
No,
but I will say though, even though you get to extend the new car smell period for a little while, problem is that what happens if once you go in there, someone decides to just leave a Tupperware filled with, I don't know, egg salad in the middle of the car, right?
Yeah, have you done that before? Is that where this is?
I may or may not have done that to my brother, but well, it's neither here nor there. But the point I'm trying to say is that yes, they have this new feel, but there is a possibility that things can come in here and they could maybe get caught off guard potentially. But wait a minute, I think I hear the sound. We got our agents now getting picked here. Mimi, what you got?
Okay, so that's a Raze getting picked up for SEN.
Oh.
It's just a meta duelist for a time when Lotus was in the pool before. But I think with the strength of Neon right now and how she breaks defensive side rotations, being the fastest character in the game, I expected teams to go something more similar to what KRU is playing with that Neon duelist.
Guys, there's no Sky.
Oh no!
Wait, what the hell happened?
What are we gonna do?
Wow, we got trolled.
It's a
we
great
trolled
fade
ourselves.
map, though.
Yeah,
I think
it's
especially
true.
are really key. I'm interested to see that Vice getting picked in, especially against a comp that's not playing the Neon. I think the Raze is a much better match into Vice than the Neon would have been.
All right, folks, it's time for our first pistol round of stage 1. Just go ahead and send it over to 2 esports legends. Here's Rivington and Van Silly.
And we're about ready to get into this match. It's been long enough. Let's get into it. It's going to be Sentinels and KRU, but it's going to be a completely different setup. Coaching staff alike, players along the line. We get to learn a lot about these teams here right now.
I've been dying for this week to start. We're like a week behind everybody else for all the other regions. Now we get to kick things off with a brand new Sentinels, a brand new KRU that, has been set for the longest of time since the off-season, but we haven't had a chance to watch them yet. So a lot of big question marks. I think the biggest one as well is, how is Victor going to perform for Sentinels so far?
It's time for our match start presented by Samsung OLED. As we get in, we'll get to see how Victor's playing, how John's back in the shot calling spot with maybe Jonah P in the mid rounds there. There's so many bullet points to hit through this one as we go through, and the players also spell it out for us with what they're bringing to the table.
We'll definitely have time to talk about all of that as the series just starting now. You're seeing on the side of Sentinels here, pulling out a veto into their comp and doing a little bit of standard stuff on the C side. Prowlers to force some players out, get some early information, but they're still defaulting very slowly now. But look at this double push coming out from the C side. All of KRU kind of really knows that the pressure's coming more towards this A side, and they have the perfect rotate for now.
He's taking that early space for Sadak to cover as well, and already moved up in. Sen's feeling good. Gonna get cut off by the wall for a moment, but if they can pause this just for the time being, no, Silence pushes forward and doesn't allow for that patience to happen. But Sen's not stopping. Instantly walking in left and right. They're just taking the site angle by angle here. But they have not got the spike down yet, and that's the problem. They're still looking for the kills. And it's on Sadak now. Trailing behind just the whole time, trying to get an idea of the picture. And with the Ghost, this is definitely a possibility. Now he hears the plan.
So they're back in the Americas too. IGL for KRU. And already taken down by Jonah P. The latest addition for Sentinels allows for them to get the pistol. Very nice little pistol to start things off though from both sides. I love the aggression that came out on the defense as well for KRU to kick things off. They had a great stall from that Vice wall in the very beginning that really isolated Victor. Everybody stayed very patient towards the end. As soon as his wall came down, he stayed as a 5-man pack mentality because of his veto with the intercept. And Cortezio was able to just sneak through and get a perfect first kill in the backstab here towards the A site. And now we get the plant and the victory as also our first tech pause for stage 1.
A lot of ones. Yeah, just very confident there by Sentinels as well. Working the wall first round, conditioning that they're going to be able to use that on their own side of having that cross to the right of the map. And they continuously, like you said, no worry when they were cut off by the Vice wall to stay together and keep that play going.
And the interesting now thing that we can talk about actually for the side of KRU is, again, big question marks came up on the analyst desk. Emily was mentioning that they've been practicing since the dawn of time, got to boot camp with all the top teams in Santiago and Chile. But also an interview with Sadak has mentioned that it doesn't really matter if we were able to get like a 4-month break, be in LA in early March to get ready for this day.
Yeah.
Until they actually are able to test what they've practiced on the stage and to get everybody familiar also on the stage.
So
and
real.
A brand new roster, you're looking at everybody that had pretty much initiator / Senti roles across the board from NW0 to Sadak to even Silence and Les in different teams in past 2025. So now it's to see, okay, now we have our defined roles going to this onto the stage into the Americas, and let's see if we can work this out.
And this is Sadak and Les coming back, right? From Carmine Core for Sadak, Les from Vitality, and 2 7/8 from EMEA. But also with these 3 players, where you've heard the names, MW Zera, Silence obviously from last year, and Dante. And they've all been projected as these could be the players. Imagine if all 3 come online at that time for them, if they do find that footing, because we've seen those glimpses from all 3 of them, and under the guidance of Sadak, Les, those veteran status, it could easily be a thing in a mountain that they can reach the top of. Right now, we're gonna step away and hear from Redux and his thoughts on Sentinel's kickoff performance.
Yeah, so kickoff was definitely a pretty bad performance from me and the whole team. I don't deny that at all. Lots of things that we learned though, for sure, and we're gonna take that and improve for stage 1. I mean, considering how like the point system is, like we really gotta lock in for the rest of the year. Kickoff was our only like slip up that we can make. We can't make any more slip ups, but we're gonna take that on the chin and move on for sure. I could have definitely performed better, but I'm excited to show off what I could do in stage 1.
And we can see SEN, even Redux there, hold themselves to pretty high regard. Maybe did show shaky the first-ish game, but played a pretty balanced score throughout the rest of his games. Knew that there was a change that needed to be made there. And he's somebody that can definitely see the bigger picture in the situation.
Yeah, and although somebody like Redux or John Cudi were putting up some good numbers during kickoff, overall, though, the result was they still wanted to go to Chile. They still wanted to go play at Masters. They also still want to qualify to Ever International like last year, but also do better in the runs, which is why you have Ewok joining this roster now.
Right. Coach Ewok.
The experience that he brought in here from RRQ over in the Pacific, and he's done a pretty good job with the RRQ team over on that side before Joby took the reins and he wanted to take a small break. But the opportunity came now to coach for Sentinels, and here he is. And they have high expectations once again. I think it doesn't really matter in their eyes as the players and coach that they're a brand new team, a brand new core. No. Not really a core, actually, if you look at the roster now for Sentinels. But they definitely do want to make sure that they make it to London at this stage if they can. They have an opportunity to do so with a brand new, all new KRU Visa roster that are not tested yet. So it'll be a great test for both of these teams.
I can't wait to see it. We are almost set with this tech pause for the gear, but we do have something from Sadak and Les, as they've been away from the VCT Americas Stage for a few years, but they have had a massive impact during their time here. Check this out.
Sadak and Les, I had such a respect for them and for their career. They being back here in the Americas region, it's gonna be like nostalgia for a lot of people, even for me.
Todo mundo sabe que eles são players excelentes, os caras já foram campeão mundial, os caras já chegaram a uma final de loquinho, os caras já ganharam um VCT Americas. Então todo mundo sabe que os caras são realmente players muito bons.
I'm glad that those two are back together. They've definitely been like my idols when I was coming up in this game. Sadak, I mean, he's been an amazing caller throughout his career, and he's taken me down a lot personally as well.
Back in the day, whenever we faced me and Sadak, I can confidently say that he smoked me. He was way better. A lot of people, including me, looked up to him as an IGL, as a leader.
He's always been that fun IGL that throws random comps on random agents out there, and it works a lot of the time that he does it. So he's not really like die hard on the meta, and I think that kind of makes it entertaining to watch for fans and pros.
Tem toda a informação que precisa. Já levou 4. Vai pro Ace, Sadak!
Les, I mean, this guy was just the movement demon, the aim god back then. People said it was less movement because he was the one that actually game changed a lot of this stuff back then.
Last time I played him, obviously, insane. He was like a top 5 player at the time, hands down. Back then, he used to play like the kind of like the Sentinel Lurk Viper role.
That's gonna get another one. Oh my God!
America's missed him a lot, to be honest. I think you never want to share your superstars with other regions because they're winning with the other regions, so you always want them to be home.
Les went to Vitality and they immediately made it to Bangkok, so I think they have the experience, the firepower, the brain, everything. I know Sadak probably didn't have the best experience on Carmine Corp, like results-wise, but yeah, I definitely know that as an individual, you'll want to come back to Americas with vengeance, blood.
Beautiful! Sadak!
They're world champions for a reason. They're very smart. They were innovators in the Valorant meta at one point, so they can do it again.
Volver acá a América realmente es una sensación un tanto peculiar porque es nostálgica, porque veo muchas caras conocidas y hay tantos sentimientos porque ganamos tantas cosas acá.
Eu sempre estive muito dentro da parte tática da Loud e na Vitality eu já não fiz muito essa parte, que me deixava muito frustrado algumas vezes com a KRU. Eu sinto que eu vou conseguir esse espaço de volta porque o Sadak sempre abriu esse espaço para mim fazer parte do tático e ajudar ele nessa questão.
Es una persona que yo la entiendo y me entiende cómo yo quiero jugar, que es lo más importante. Entonces estar juntos realmente es algo que creo que nos va a beneficiar mucho a ambos.
Ele estava procurando um braço direito para ser o capitão, ter alguém ali, então meio que nós dois estávamos procurando um ao outro. Eu fiquei meio pensando, talvez seja o destino, sabe? Espero que a história seja escrita de novo.
Always nice to have Sadak and Les here back on the stage in the Americas. And yeah, definitely looks like for Les, he's able to be a little bit more vocal and for them to work together and to work this meta. The interesting thing, though, is that Zelsis in that video was mentioning how it was so cool to see Sadak think outside of the box, these new comps, crazy comps that was pulling out here. For example, the Ascent that we saw in that replay, and also what he brought out over at KC when he was trying it on that side over with Eng. This time around, though, things look a little bit more tame. If you're looking at the composition right now with this Neon Fade Vise double controller, quite simple. Thank you for your patience, by the way, as we head back in the game. But I understand that this is going to be a nice period of adjustment for a lot of these teams, especially with the Euro nerfs. And also, on the defensive side, the macro is going to be very important for the IGLs to just make sure that you plug the holes at the right spots and have the right protocols for the retakes too, because you don't have a Euro that could TP instantly to support a strong side on a site.
Victor able to call this anti-strat over here. KRU looking to blast through the wall and see if they can get anything, but Sadak still able to squeak through. Marshall picked up here on the backside. That's going to activate Sentinels to head right into the C site. The knowledge is there. The Silence is hearing this on Vise just on the other side of the wall, and they're ready to explode back in.
Tough part, though, is that the one watching the flank could get one-shotted. It's Cortezia. Sadak's trying to close that gap with the Marshall. If he falls down, things are looking good for the retake for KRU.
He's got distance, too. They're going to be stuck in the back of the site. The slide in from Dante, starting to break the crosshairs, break the ankles. A few of the Guardian shots able to be traded back, but it's not enough. KRU says, wait, you got first round? We'll take the second round. And the play they had was over at A, fans. They still make it work as they get to C.
Yeah, people forget that Sadak also is a killer fragger for the IGL position. An Argentinian IGL getting to represent an Argentinian roster organization as well.
Feel good.
And those are definitely going to be kills that feel good.
So both rounds as well, KRU has just gone all the way around into attacker spawn and gotten to the backside. Well, why not? Gain the space, see what they're doing. Sadak wants to know.
Yeah. It almost feels like because you're playing Cortezia on this veto, even if you have a chokehold that's watching the flank, you almost want to have him with the pack to use the interceptor for the execs. So again, Cerebral, you have to think on your toes, and that's 2 rounds down to Sadak's flank and getting value out of it.
Giving themselves an upper hand, be able to phantom over the wall right quick with Sadak's height. He drops on that elevation, though. They don't want to give it away too quick if he's not making the play off it right away. A pause here, and it looks... Oh, and he still gets it. I think he tipped him through the side of the wall there. Yeah, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, just down at rubble. So far, man, he's doing a good job getting these first bloods for KRU. That's going to force the hand of Sentinels to just try to get into the B side for a plan, but the good news is that you could still satchel in Omen TP in. That is not going to have the ring device do too much damage.
With trades, that's a blue kill feed, though. KRU is able to just swamp Sentinels as they come in. Great read so far on each of the plays, or even the audible they have to call to get back into position to read the play further coming from Sentinels.
Yeah. Well, at least we have a couple of rounds now that John Cutie, freshly reappointed as the main IGL for Sentinels, to read the rounds a bit on how KRU's kind of reacting around the action. They are showing themselves quite often, though, for KRU. They're forcing down these line of sights and not really trying to play trap players or whatnot. They're forcing these duels like an easy kill like that because, you know, the weaponry between Sadak and what Sentinels was trying to do there towards that A site. That said, this is a great opportunity now for Sentinels to really start working the map a little bit more. Remember when Mimi was talking on the desk too, Victor going into this raise is actually very good to counter against the silence on his Vise. Neon usually would go down to like barely any HP if you're sliding through without breaking util. Now you have an opportunity to do so with this composition for Sentinels. And they're starting with aggression on this A side though, and the small tech. Old school style, TP in the smoke, exactly. Not get hit by the eye.
It's like a millimeter off, maybe. His head's sticking out, and then the gun's sticking out for a moment. Oh, I love the idea. So good. And they're trying to take the space a lot more aggressive now. Sentinels does not want to be known for being on their heels here at the start of this match, and they're trying to just go punch for punch with the pressure on this, but the util's out as the wall comes down. The trades are still somehow even in that situation as we're sliding around and getting ourselves back in position here. Less limps away from the fight, and actually Sen doesn't look too bad here. Smokes to go in, wall's still there, and an initiator to find.
That's still crazy that he was able to slide away to safety while the door closes. Just disappears into the bushes. Like that Homer meme. That said, though, it's calmed things down in a 3 versus 3. And it almost seems that the trap play was a nice idea for KRU. What was missing was that wall was up for just a tad too much longer, so that the paranoia didn't get too much value there from Sadak, from tree into rubble. So it gives a chance for Sentinels now to just reset, and with 30 seconds left, they're committing to A.
You have John Cutie and Jonah P here for a mid-round mind to reflex on this round. They have all the resources. Can they get the shots to happen? Spike's going to be planted, and they actually have this site divided pretty nicely, straight up and down here, 3 on each side. Seems like they're trying to get a position so they can have less drop into the site here.
Dante almost had 2 free kills, but you have some very injured Sentinels players in the tree room.
Oh, they walk right into the Odin. It's going to be 1 for 1. Another trade, though, comes through. Great job by Redux to find 3 on the round. The 16 HP. Les basically has another person to fight with the Spike being down here.
I mean, you're just going to wait this out.
Yeah. He makes all the moves. They're as patient as they want to be.
Very nice for Sentinels to recuperate in that round.
Gives the stops from here, at least gets the damage. Nope. They get out 4 for Redux.
Big 4K on the Omen. That said, the choice to refight for KRU back towards that tree room was actually decent, because Sentinel still had some good stalls with the smoke towards that front side of the A site. Look at that, just unlucky on that sliding that he just couldn't get that connect. Onto Redux, who got a 4K at the end of the round after that. Imagine
the result.
Exactly. Would have been a whole different story. But they're able to prevail for Sentinels. They went to face back on the ones that were opening the door, played a 3 versus 2, played the numbers advantage to their favor despite the health. And the fundamentals already there, at least for a brand new fresh roster around Sentinels as well.
Yeah, that was really clean fundamentals. Nobody went aggressive. Numbers were equal and just playing the safe game. Play your life. Here, more. Just instant aggression to the front of where a fight could be. Sentinels now taking Mound from C right away. And they haven't given Sadak the space yet, though. They're actually waiting for him back in spawn to see if he comes through on a defensive position again.
bait out the first wave, but they haven't really contested that wall for Sentinel. So despite Interceptor getting thrown in, the door getting rotated across, they haven't gotten too much map control on the attack. Look how pushed up Dante's already at here with this judge.
Yeah. It seems like they kind of play hip and hip here. This is what the pistol round combination was. Dante with Sadak behind him. And they might... I don't think they're going to push any more from the A side just yet after hearing that.
I was about to say, oh no. It actually goes behind. This is a perfect position for Dante right now.
Oh, what a snapshot for the second one. He takes the whole situation into his own hands. Doesn't even let them think about another play, and this forces the three now from Sentinel to the left side of the map. A different three than won the last round, but they could still make it happen here as they start to even up the numbers.
The wall's still up.
Not enough. Oh my gosh, Dante coming out of nowhere here, thinking they can just execute on the end of the round, but John Cutie doesn't go down that easily. Time's gonna tick down. A great defense by KRU here as they squash Sentinels. Get to see fast, but they can't get control of the map.
Yeah. But we talked about slow rounds and defaulting here for Sentinels and what they want to try to do. Getting stolen on that C side to not beat that wall in the first place was a little bit difficult, but they had the right idea on the mid round to try to re-clear towards this side. Prowler was still, or had one left available, and I love the position from KRU. They baited out the Prowler to not give Dante's position away, and that's 2 free kills with that judge. You have nothing left here to retake or re-go towards that C site. You already see the vibes coming back here from Sadak. Already cheering someone like Dante, who hasn't had the best of starts going into his rookie year last year.
Yeah.
But now he gets to get reunited with Zonic, by the way. And back then, when he was playing in like Challengers and going into Ascension, I'm even thinking back towards the All Knights days. He was actually one of the players that was talked about the most as like a kick-ass neon that could really change the game here for a team. And this is a perfect moment right now before we go into anything else in terms of patch changes for the duelists.
Over and in, silence. Another one that was talked about quite a bit from 2G now here on the KRU squad to see if he can find his footing in this stage of VCT. Oh, who's there in silence? Just absolutely shutting down Sentinels as they try to get into C. And they're going to swarm Redux here as he's down in the wall. I think they are. He's a bandit, though, apparently. Les puts the final touches on that one. 4-2 as we finally get a little separation in these rounds.
He did mention during the Sentinels podcast, though, that it doesn't really matter if Wele and Yoru are nerfed. He can pretty much play anything and make it work, and with any weapon as well. What a shot.
Boing.
Oh, that was insane. Another young fragger there in silence.
Yeah.
Joining in also from the Ascension side, and that is going to be an early timeout by Ewok to call here for Sentinels. And if we're looking at it, though, the last couple of rounds that they've tried to move towards that C side, they were heavily punished. That wall is a nuisance right now for Sentinels to deal with. And I think even if they're trying to go for like the close smoke or trying to play around that and bait the walls, there's still too much util around that it still stays up. You saw the Razor Vines that weren't broken, and if they made it through, there was still the Fade Seas that was already rotated across from MW0. So Sentinels now, I feel, maybe the first hand, if they really want to try to bait that wall, maybe have some of those deeper smokes into that seaside cross potentially so that you could really cover up the water, cover up the bend, and then get that step 1 done. Because if not, KRU has free reign of knowing where the action's going to be and putting their positions in the right places, the players in the right places, to stuff every attempt so far that Sentinel's trying to take here over on either sites.
Sadak is just hungry. He seems starved for info. Not that he's not getting it, he just wants more constantly. Like, instant, can we move up a little bit more? Can you play against that wall with your judge? Can we push first round? Let's see how they do it this round.
Yeah.
Looks like they're actually going to push right out of B and face-to-face against Sentinels, who are pushing straight up B.
And without sounding like a broken record, he's allowing himself and his team to do that because there's zero pressure towards that C site.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Right off the bat. Relay bolt goes across. Dante and the rest of the team swing out. There's like a clothesline coming across the necks of Sentinels, and they are down on the ground. And just looking back and forth, Redux is like, where could they even come from? This is such a weird timing to be here. It's 1 minute and 20 seconds in the round and surrounded by KRU.
Yeah. Went for the hero rifle too. And a TP for the rest of them to make noise. And unfortunately, that rifle is not going to do too much anymore. He's probably has no choice but to save. Unless he wants to go for some sort of damage, but there's some good rounds already. The econ's already quite high for the side of KRU. So for him to lose his weapon, lose his life, and maybe keep the economy very balanced with the rest of the team, potentially, but I think just trying to use his rifle again for another hero round for the next could be another great option here for, so far, Redux, who's been looking pretty good in this matchup.
Gee. It's like, nah. Give him a stinky face. All right. That was incredible. And even coming into 7 rounds like that, Sadok's just like, you know what? I'm feeling that B. Let's go for the B hit. Boom. Absolutely countered on the play that they wanted in a matter of seconds.
And it made it simple. All that contact play, you know how the relay bolt, the relay bolt comes out very quickly as a quick cast. So you activate that as soon as a Prowler locks into someone, and you're just pushing through. Even had a pinch from that seaside push. That was very nice by Sadok at the same time. But yeah, now you're seeing that their rifle, they don't have it, and they have to play against a Stinger of all weapons. And cool that it's in the hands of Jonah P.
He knows how to use it for sure. Yeah. Just off the round it's on, that's all.
And this could be good still, though, right? If they're able to stay in as a group right now and try to get that first punish, as they're reading the correct side to really try to add that pressure, they have some great ults to work with. Just to take over site.
No way. Remember, he dropped off the box the other round because he didn't want to be seen, so he uses it again this round, just picking and choosing the moments to stab at Sentinels with these little plays. And they don't even really get to begin the round with most of their team. And they're only one person in here. Victor's just going to get jumped on. Sadok with the 3. And another flawless round as they are reading the mind of Sentinels.
And Dante's the one just hopping around towards tree to be selfless and allow Sadok to get picked so that he can get his ult too. So KRU are doing excellent so far. And this is not an uncommon position here for the top of the boxes. I think going into like even chamber players out in the MEA, great spot for them to look over the Viper wall and to lurk.
Like 2.5 kills from behind a wall.
Exactly. You can still escape easily as an Omen or a chamber. So now that has to be a standard position to start to clear for a lot of teams trying to default slowly towards this A side. That said, though, we have for the first time an op on the side of Sentinels and also on the attack. That's actually in the hands of Cortezia.
I gotta say, I still like the pressure. Oh my gosh. Hold off by Victor. Very nicely played. Good coverage on the squad mates here as Cortezia does get that operator to sing out. The trades are still coming through, though. There's so much action on the map right now. Doors continue to stay open. That thing is greased. John Cutie takes down MWZera, and now we are in to somehow a 1v3 where Silence has to find some safety here.
Some great fight backs towards the end. That was because of those 2 players that were leading towards that C side a little bit late. So that as soon as they open the door and try to pressure on that side, you saw the walkout coming through from Les. Well, Cortezia punishes him with the op. They made it very difficult for the rest of KRU to really try to fight for the control towards B main when they were getting pinched on both sides. So now to 1 versus 3. Silence does have a big ult to work with, though.
Flash trap destroyed.
He knows he's in the right spot. They're running around like elephants in here, but he's not on a 4 HP. Oh, wait a minute. Operator's down. It's going to be a tough one to get the swing on. It's too far. John Cutie hits the shot anyways, and Sentinels' continued aggression puts them in a spot to get another round here. They're not being afraid of moving up.
Yep. And it's John Cutie just being very cerebral, playing around that smoke. Even if he got seized up, decided to play inside of it, and it came down to reaction time, just like over here at the start of the round. Because once again, KRU aggressing in the first place with forward positions.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh yeah, just beautiful.
Smart.
Let's go. Guys, they're just fighting. They're just inting.
The play to just start shooting the Phantom, knowing he can't be traded back because he's deafened from the C's crazy stuff. Knowing to get Shorty jumped on. He's seeing the plays. What do they do this round? The split towards C once again, but not as fast this time. They're actually pacing themselves a little bit on Sentinels.
I think it's also, again, realizing that KRU are always making the first move, which is why you're posting this off so passively and waiting out these smokes on the first wave. Seeing if everybody's going to try to push forward. As that smoke dissipates towards this A side, you see now the push forward here from Cortezia trying to look down towards that line. not give a chance here for anybody to push forward. As we get to listen in now to
guys, 1 minuto e estão baitando a parede ainda. Tá bem.
Sai daqui.
Não, eu parei.
Ligou.
Fica aí, ficamos retequeados. Tá?
Subiu
Tá,
pede meus espinhos aí, tá?
Você quer smoke?
Na boca do B, me deu contato. Tem smoke B?
Tem
espinho ainda, né?
Deixa o Pivegas. Smoke B. Faz bagulho, faz bagulho.
Tive espinha.
Não passaram.
Cuidado do A pra jogar.
Deu TP. Eu
não dou TP.
Passou com você, Dante. Na smoke, Só ele. Só homem. Botando na linha para eles.
3A entrando agora.
Onde que tá esse homem?
Tá, link C, eu acho.
Eu ainda pra...
Link C, mas eu sou meio pra A, tá? Tô com você,
Reis vai ultar. Sai daí.
Aí, dei mole.
Nem tudo bom aqui, Felipe. It's very clean too. Only not a lot of comms when the action, right?
Botei, viado.
Onde que ele tá?
Tava atrás do bombe.
Vai pra direita, Vitor.
Tá, só
eu vou só clicar, tá? Ele tá sem arma. Cliquei só.
Eu vou olhar na sua esquerda. Pera aí, eu vou ir...
Caralho, viado! Que porra é essa, moleque?
And the comms are, as those hits were hitting, or the sight hit was beginning, you hear Sadak say something and they stop. And then there's something that returns and they stop. It's not kind of following up with everything. It's letting everybody hear the situation, feel the situation, and you can see what they unleash silence to do there, and everybody gets quiet.
And that's the thing I was trying to figure out, because I don't speak Spanish, but I was trying to figure out what was happening on that minimap as they were communicating too. They're really trying to isolate little bits by bits where the weak sites are. So the pressure came in from Redox. They try to take him down. They fall. They give that up. They try to look for that pressure towards the A side. They couldn't get that going, so they try to just reset, stay calm. And then you have silence that just goes nuclear for that round and drops a 3K to allow here for the retake to happen, because outside of that, every single one of those picks, though, did come in favor of Sentinels as they kick things off.
Gonna have a timeout after this one.
From KRU, interestingly enough.
Yeah. Feeling good. An interesting one. We'll have to see. Is it a talk from the coach? A discussion with the coach?
I'm actually very confused about this timeout, because they had such a great start for Sentinels to, on that previous round, to overtake and plant towards that A site. And after getting mowed down by Silence with a 3K and losing that round, the morale is definitely down. So if you're going to call a timeout for the side of KRU, this is a perfect time now for Ewok and the team to calm down and just make sure that they come back in this one. Although I think the economy is not the best right now for the Sentinels team, but they have a great opportunity to at least try to salvage this one here with lower buy, and then round number 12 once they have the weapons to work with. So yeah, I'm very intrigued by this one from KRU.
It may be honestly a way to solidify and just lock up the game. This is how I want you to use the ults coming in the following rounds. I expect you guys to see this. If we don't, do this. You know, just in a way to get the certain kind of info in there instead of waiting to see if your team does it. Maybe it's that. Maybe he's like, hey, how you guys doing? You know? They're kind of in that position. They're kind of in that position right now. So they're looking good.
And again, still questioning it, because you're playing against an Eco this time around. You're playing anti-Eco. You have a big ult, yes, but I don't know if you want to necessarily, utilize that right now. So is it really just a protocol that they have to try to get a timeout, perhaps something like that, or just to try to maximize the rounds as possible with this timeout on the anti-Eco? But we'll have to see if it pays dividends. Because if not, Sentinels, if they're able to come back slowly from now, you're going to have to start rethinking here your timeout positions on the KRU side for Zonic. And it starts with Sentinels now back from the timeout. 5 sheriffs to fight into the A main.
No hero rifles this time. It's going to be the second move from Sadak. He's just trying to make some noise over here as he got himself into position to start the round. And just an insert is left over towards that A rubble side as Sentinels work the map here. The last 2 rounds are super important for them. And they're going to try to put everything in the mix to make that happen. On this low buy, already inserting 2 as they try to end what looks like to see.
Yeah. It seems to be very annoying to deal with here for how KRU's playing this double wall or double stall with the Viper wall and cycling to Omen Smoke. Because you're funneling everybody to go straight into rubble, and that's 2 players watching on that line. But we'll hold that thought. Here's a triple peek for the attempt to move towards the C site. And can they get rid of this wall? They won't. Prowler pushes some players away, but they're not committing to get this.
No. Little audio cue with the door as well to make KRU think about a few other things if they have to keep an eye on front B. In this position held now by Redux.
30 seconds
Ever
left.
so slightly. He's already given up by Sadak. They realize 20 seconds left in the round. This is probably going to be the rush if it doesn't end B overall. Oh, what a shot from Les. Always expecting that to hit, and they have committed to tree room. Here comes the rest of KRU, but they're not going to be needed. Dante sweeps 3 off their feet, and the last one from Sadak to hold down the site. 8-3 for KRU.
Wow. Nice little ult for the assists across the board, too.
Ooh.
All lined up here for Sentinels.
You need to seize the tethers, too. What a time to ult.
I do appreciate the late lurk, though, that we had from Sentinels in the front B site.
They were trying to get a little action there. The commit to tree, I think, it doesn't snuff it out, but I feel like Cortesia was just that close to having something.
Not even utilizing a pit early in the round. It's just KRU going for that triple pushdown. You realize that there's nothing happening. There's no noise on C. Sadak's going to be tested heavily now. He has to fall back and wait for the root. Oh, no. That's spike, too.
It's not the first time he's done that this game. The door opens, that wall's up. He's going to spray through it. It's such a hot spot to trade over that line of fire. Dante here pushing them back. He's just like 4v1 in this situation right now. Nobody wants to peek the laser. Gonna go ahead and give himself a fast lane to get the safety. The team's falling down around him, but they get the safety here.
All they got to do is just wait for all that util to come down and start pushing as a team, and it works out for Cortesia.
Little deja vu, but in the other direction now. Dante falls to the same medicine. Sentinels back in this position where they won one of the first few rounds for themselves, able to hold the right side of A. The door is going to be played with by Silence here. Oh, Les is going to have to do work inside the site. He gets out with the shorty album. He goes down. Last work in the Viper pit. It's like a home away from home from him, even if it's not his. And now he holds. He's got a lot of time on this spike, and he knows it.
And a full kit. He could still pit, go for a snake bite.
Easy.
Make it very dangerous for Sentinels.
Orb and bite right in front, or one of the other. Oh, the shoulder shot. What a nice little peek by Cortesia there. Gets the 8-4 to cinch up another round before half. Whew.
You're happy that you got some players here that are able to step up to the plate and stitch out those rounds for Sentinels. Big 4K we saw earlier on from Redux, a 4K here for Cortesia, as that was all in control to get the round there for Sentinels and keep this game fairly close.
We're back on Lotus here in VCT Americas, and we'll have the second half of action right after this.
We got this old mattress.
Waterbed.
And the receipt.
How about you beat it with a better deal on one of these fresh setups?
We can't do that.
Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill for a better deal today.
Guess you're not as cool as Verizon.
I'm just gonna leave it.
Back for the second half here of KRU Visa versus Sentinels. KRU coming out, swinging, aggressive from the defensive side, reading just about every play that Sentinels wanted to set up for their ultimate rounds, and even some of those save rounds where they tried to squeak a few back after timeouts. Can they have a better second half from the Sentinel side is the question.
Yeah, they were very good to switch it up from round to round for Crew. Sometimes aggression towards that front B pays off in a bloodbath. Sometimes it's just a vertical positioning from Sadak that gets a great opening. Spam smokes too. Yeah, they just understood the timing of how Sentinels were really trying to work around this map of Lotus. Now things will change. Crew now takes the attack side, and Sentinels are also looking for a little bit of pressure, it seems like, towards the C side. They'll throw this one way at the start and double pushing out just to control this perfect bound to get the first blood there onto somebody who's been red hot at the beginning of this game for Dante. Really seemed to be finding his footing through the leadership of Sadak. I almost even like to say, dare I say, even night and day from when he first started here over on the VCT stage.
It does look like it. A lot more confidence in the plays that he is making, moving around the map. Maybe that is because they were kind of hip in some of their plays, giving that confidence straight to him. 2 towards tree. John Cutie maybe to be the backstab, or does he pull for Cortezia here? It looks like they're actually just making noise all over the map. Crew wants that info more and more. I've been knocking. Is anyone here? Yes, there is. Cortezia is home.
And stay out!
Yeah, seriously. How long are you going to do this? All right, they get a Sheriff actually to walk away with that one. What a push forward, though, to take down Jonah P.
He does that by tapping the Spike, too. If he died to that fight to Jonah P, that was Spike out in the open for Sentinels. What a crazy move from
they needed to get that. Repairing that kill that happened in tree. He pushes forward for another one, unprompted by anything as he catches that paranoia in the face. It fizzles out. He's still able to fight through it. Oh my God, he's going for the ace! Just misses the head there. Redux on the right, there it is, does get it! It's coming through, past the chest, that's all MW Zera there from the start.
Welcome back to the VCT stage, MW Zera. A cold start, a disappointing finish at kickoff, and then he had to play all of 2025 and Challengers. Getting to perfect the scan initiator role and then going into this. Solo pushes towards that front, solo pushes towards the connector of Waterfall, and just wins every single one of the fights. Insane round.
Gets the paycheck ace too. What's he got? Bulldog. Just keep buying through, feeling good. Dang. And the Sentinels really needed to start well. That wasn't what they wanted to see. What a round. Oh, sorry, he bought the Phantom. I was looking at Dante. So he just went big dog on this one. Let's see if he puts that damage down. They cannot lose that weapon. So it is going to be protected. Les will cut off the entry for Sentinels here, as it looks like they're going to go ahead and swarm over towards that A site.
Yeah, easy open. Lurk on that wall, no pressure coming out from Sentinels, so Les took all of that space instantly. And you see the buy, you mentioned it, Phantom, Outlaw. Just wanted to make sure that the ones that had weapons stayed as a group. Les only had a Ghost to work with, and he's done his job, and now Crew are in a prime position here to convert their anti-eco. All the Sentinels hoping to punish some players in the first place. But no.
What? What? 2 in a row? Are we gonna do it? Oh, 2 aces in a row for Crew. No way. That is just a vibe. They say this game is a lot about momentum and how much power you're carrying. I think they have all the momentum right now.
Dude.
Holy.
And also switching weapons. Remember, you were just talking about MW Zera popping off at the beginning with a Phantom, but then he picks up the Outlaw so that Silence could be the one farming for kills, playing on site.
I don't even care that that's an eco. We just got 2 aces.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Back to it.
All right, 3rd round.
Now we wait.
What can Sen do to stop the bleeding Vans?
I'm out of here.
Right now is shoot back.
Shoot back.
Because they have numbers. They're just getting dismantled by one player. Again, you mentioned it was just an eco round in the previous round, respectable, but that pistol round too, when they got caught off guard. So you just got to make sure now that they're a little bit more confident to swing against Crew, because Crew seems to be finding a lot of off timings to surprise Sentinels since the beginning of this game. Remember, the defensive side was strong for Crew because of how they played. And now they're finding timings on tapping spikes and pushes, and Sentinel seems a little bit too protocol on how they want to play maybe some of these scenarios. And they're very surprised for their first map start. At least for KRU, though, they're looking pretty good.
They're looking great. And we kind of heard the Sadak thing where, yeah, they've had a lot of time to play, but it only matters if they can do it now. Well, I think he underestimated their practice. They're doing great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it does. It seems to have mattered. Really capitalizing on these. The trades are there. Beautiful from John QT, though. That's exactly what we need to start seeing from Sentinels. They have to be able to choke out KRU this round. Les and MWZera still alive here to pack a punch. And that's John QT going down. Victor's trying to be the final answer. And yeah, they should be able to swarm down on Les here. Tethered in, 3 HP. 1? No, there's 2 left. It doesn't take that much to get the headshots in, but 13 seconds. There's the shot the Redux needs. Sentinels are able to get that bonus round away from KRU.
And good for Sentinels to react with a lot of players on that C site to stack up that spot. You're just trying to look at how much stall you really have here towards this C site, and not too much since you're playing a Vito, right? So
yeah,
you need a couple of bodies with you to try to slow things down. You saw the snake bite being thrown on the side of John QT to try to help out, which gave a chance for Victor to rotate across too. So you're starting to see that Sentinels are reacting quite quickly on rotates when they're seeing this pressure coming out from KRU. That's something that KRU could take to their advantage later in the rounds if they want to start selling some fakes. No fakes this time around, though. 4 players pushing very quickly towards this A side, and the door is contested by Cortezia. Trying to bait them into this one. And let's see if Sentinels could actually hold this down as they're about to listen to the calls.
First time with me. Yeah. They're running down. Come walk upstairs with me.
Heaven, boys. Well down.
I'm with TP.
They might give, they didn't get Vice ult. Vice might be lurking still. I'm picking. I can go solo Heaven, and you guys go.
Wall up, walk out. Walk out.
It's clean. They're setting it up.
It's short wall. It's gonna go down.
Still got a lot of time for this, so really nice timing.
Opening door.
One is tree. One tree.
I'm picking backside. I'm leading backside.
They re-one with me. They one with me again. Heaven.
Yeah, well, 2 Heaven. Backside. Front side now. Don't peek you stairs. Nice try.
Everything was there in place to try to really flood back into the site. You see that Victory even very vocal for the team as they're really trying to set him up as that tip of the spear with the showstopper. So you're calling for John to pull up the wall. It's a short wall. They're set up. They're ready to go. But look at that siege. Just too nice. So you lose the value of the showstopper. And on top of that, as you're getting decayed while you're seized, allows Dante to move in and just get these picks.
It's that sees those plays. KRU has protocols for Sen's protocols. Like, and in the moment, that's the kind of stuff we have not seen for a while here. Kind of across the board. A lot of the plays are just the teams, they go in, they make it happen, and there's a fight. But we are seeing just in the moment denial here from KRU. That's insane.
As on one side, Sentinels at kickoff were only at a 1-2, which was definitely disappointing for them. But even on KRU's side, they haven't been winning since, I think, summertime of last year.
Right.
So to see this type of turnaround, maybe it does come into play when you have 4 months of boot camp. They're able to get ready for stage 1.
It's like, all right, maybe we are a little mind melded more than we thought here, gentlemen. We're just on the same page across the board here. And this is going to be a time where KRU also gets to speak, obviously, during the timeout. You can see the coach getting into it. Zonic there giving his 2 cents. His Ewok does the same.
And you're facing a tough task going into this one for Sentinels because you're pretty much at the scenario where or you want to force buy for the rest of the game or you half buy and then try to play for the OT, and they're deciding to go for the force buy. And the more that they do this, and if they're able to stay alive from round to round, the more it's going to be still difficult to face against this outlaw from Silence.
Cover going out.
So the economy is still well controlled, well maintained by the LATAM team. They're also playing it fairly slow at the beginning of the round. Again, just trying to keep Silence as the first point of contact. If there's any pressure coming out from Sens or any trap play coming out from the defensive side, and as it stays rather quiet, Sentinels are actually quite mobile, but a lot more passively around the map, not making any noise, but silently walking over to stack here over on A as they're baiting outdoors on the revolving door, and that only allows Cortezia to play solo on C.
They're not going to be too afraid after hearing that. Quick dash out for him, or I should say TP out. And now they're going to play their live, but spread across the map. Crew are ready to pick and poke at anybody looking for that rotation, and Les gets one just like that. Jonah P is not having a great game with the way that Crew is just taking it to him in these rounds.
Exactly, they're just playing full inserts. It made so much noise on the C side. Les is inserted towards A. You also still have Silence inserted towards B with the Outlaw, so you're cutting every rotate across, so you're giving individual 1v1s, won by Crew once again, and now they take over this B site.
Yeah.
Nice stall, though, to start.
20 seconds here, so they are pressuring a plant, but 5 in the site. They should be able to garrison up pretty well and get that down. So what's the retake? There's blast packs to drop in, and Redux is util.
And you already know this from Crew. It's smoked out towards the waterfall side.
Yeah.
They know their rotate's coming back towards stairs. Les is still isolating fights.
Yeah, that's the insane thing.
Paranoid missed.
We heard people talk about Les and what he does and how he was supposed to be that shot lurker. Wait, Sen getting a few here. I'm going off on a rant. Never mind. Les is still there. So is MW Zera. But he is. It's Les again. On that Viper, in the corner, in the shadows. 13 and 7 right now. And dismantling the rotations of Sentinels.
And you see how they're active there on that pulse plan again for Crew, as they were met by a nade and snakebite coming in from the waterfall. As they smoke it up to defend the counterplay, they're actually pushing up or on the staircase towards spawn, because they're like, well, there's no way that Sentinels will try to reflood there, right? Because we already have 5 players on site setting up the crossfire there. So let's try to cut them while they're rotating across, and they're still in the right positions. Putting them now at map point against Sentinels on their map pick. Here comes the bloodbath towards the A site in favor of Sentinels.
Yeah, there's one from Victor. John Cutie answers again. Can Sentinels keep it rolling? Keep this one going. Pedal to the metal on that one, and they finally get one of these all-out brawls to go in their favor. Well played from the A side.
Yeah, and that's a huge round for Sentinels, not only to stay alive in the game, but that was an abysmal buy that they had that they converted on their side.
Yeah.
Just wanted to play fire with fire, aggression with aggression, and they won with a lot of free upgrades going into this round. Saving grace, too, is that they have a pit to work with. Although John is still setting up his wall here towards the A side, and they are looking to play the old school style to commit a lot of resources to stall some pressure from Crew over on Rubble. See being thrown here to cancel out any TPs that would go across from the Omen. Now Redux takes the top of Rubble.
Oh, squeeze in. Oh, he didn't have the angle on the Omen. He knew it was there, though. Oh, my gosh. Sentinels, even with Crew knowing that they were stepping up, still had all the little angles, that millimeter that they needed to be able to see out of and get the shot. Just like that.
That was kind of clean.
Yeah.
But now you pick up this weapon, you pick up an orb, you have an ult for the next round. You almost didn't want John Kudu to push on that side because you still have chokehold to watch C side. You can play with a team, play maybe a 2-3 to cover up that spike and not give a chance here for NW0 to start loading up his ultimate with the rest of the squad here, because you also still have the Vice ult on Silence on a very fast take if they want to in the next round. And as he walks inside the site too, he gets to see a little bit of util over on the C side if he chooses to explore that, where the interceptor could be, where the chokehold could be. But he'll choose otherwise, so they'll just save this weapon for now towards the spawn. So a really good hold in the end for Sentinels, though, towards that A site. Wall coming down, you didn't really expose yourself behind that Viper wall, and you never really had that surprise factor coming out from Les.
This one, I think, comes down to those timeouts from Ewok. And the team realizing we can't give them as much respect. We need to take the space back, and Sentinels has been pushing themselves right up to that line of scrimmage as the round starts. Because if they don't, Les is going to be there. Someone else is going to be in the middle of the map. They're just going to spread themselves across the map and still get a hit. So I like the way the Sentinels is really getting proactive now.
Satchel out.
The gun was sticking out too, just behind that wall. So an easy kill there for Victor. I think looking at this so far, I kind of like the changes in approaches. It almost seems like like old school style, where Sentinels were really known for being really good on flood retakes, right? So they're playing a lot of, not a lot, but like they're playing some 4-1 setups, 3-1 setups, 3-on-1s, and really just trying to fight to contest one side. If you got to play soft site on the other side, you can flood retake and it'll work out in your favor. So they haven't been tested for that yet, and they will now.
kind of doing the Sen strat here. Redux spot, and then they were able to push front B. This is the one that KRU just snuffed out. They use it themselves. And it's actually going to be for a bit of a lower buy here. Dante getting a good position to use this Judge. And the ult is fine. Retake coming in now from Sentinels. Quick bot. Moves out Sadak.
Yeah, they're going to use these ults. They also have the Vise ult too once Sentinel starts flooding in.
God.
Even up the guns.
Can they rein in? That's the question. Bit of damage done here. They're taking their time though, and Sentinels is doing it right. Les cannot get the space he needs. Obviously pushed out of his ult a little bit here, but it's only a matter of time as Jonah P finishes that one off. And Sentinels within 4. Not something I thought I'd be saying on this first map, but they are making it work.
And that's an incredible stall for Sentinels on that retake. So they get hit by the Nightfall. They have to fight back inside the pit, yet they still get the round back as a flawless. I think the small mistake that went there for KRU in that post plant was that positioning that they had from the Vise. Silent was actually set up in the front of that B main side so that he could actually help out with the ult if needed, but he crossed over on the far side, over on the attacker side first. So once he recrossed to try to help out the team, the door got opened up. You had to face up against 2 players, and there was no ult to help those lower guns inside that site. Couldn't help the Judge inside the pit. But at least they get to mitigate that damage and the bleeding a bit here from this timeout from KRU. Gives a chance also for Ewok to talk with the team, but they're starting to cut it close now for KRU's attack. Advantages are really big for Sentinel so far. 4 ults available for them too, and again, the protocols that they have for these retakes are quite nice. And if they're continuing to keep to catch KRU off guard here in these forward positions here, it'll be looking quite good to bring this game to potentially overtime.
That would honestly be crazy with the read that KRU had on the first half of the map. I mean, it would really spell good things for Sentinels to be able to, one, reset, you know, understand within one map, one half, what really the problems and the issues are. Being able to kind of erase that and bring an attack side or a defensive side out that feels good enough to win. 3 in a row so far. They've happened in different ways. They got the kill round timed out and a defuse, so they've seen the way to win each of these and how it is necessary to get to 12. 4 ults to be used for Sentinels too. This could be a big round to keep it going.
Change it set up as well as we see from Sentinels. They've put Cortezia over on this A site and playing the stall of the Viper over on C with Victor slowly rotating across to help out. So again, you have the perfect setup really to try to stall as much as you can and play on the soft side. And the biggest thing is this showstopper. Or it's to stop this C site attack, or it'll be used for the retake. As KRU decide otherwise on the first protocol here to try to default towards C.
So pretty quick smokes they realized over at the C site, cycled over the Omen smoke and the Viper orb. They throw a fake smoke towards C.
And that
still don't like it.
Kept them really there here for Sentinels, and I like this though, this boombot. So another thing that's very good. Also combining for information with Jonah P's Prowler in the front, so now they know about this lean towards B and A site.
He didn't have to. Well, you don't know that. Quick turn and he's seen. So yeah, they do know about that insert, sweeping around. They kind of boombot out there too, so it's not going to be anything of knowledge anymore. The A site's the hit. Dante wants to go up, relay bolt there. Oh! Little mouse mix up there as he gets to the top of the rope. Doesn't have the aim as Victor just sends the rocket clear into the site as KRU now get a few in their favor. Silence holding for that top side, waiting for the jump down, but they're not going to know it was a teleport. Redux just trying to buy some time. Maybe if he gets pushed, he gets a kill.
John so far though.
But yeah, so far. In a final round, they throw down the ultimate. Able to get out though.
Has the pit to drop now too, but all of them are going to close that gap.
John, big play not to happen. Sadak there for the final kill, and KRU take the first map 13-8 over Sentinels.
Oh, just an unfortunate play for Sentinels for that retake. The showstopper not getting any value, and also once again another insert from NW0 inside that pit to get these drops. KRU reading them from A to Z and having a convincing first map.
Yeah,
over Sentinels here.
I think a slow start overall for Sen.
Yeah.
Started to pick it up. Still, we're trying to find some firepower there towards the end of the...
Okay, so you heard Coach Ewok. Phoenix is going to be...
I don't think that's what you said.
I'm kidding. But yeah, something a little bit more aggressive is what he said he's going to be hoping for. But there was one thing, Athena, that he did say coming out at the end of that interview that I do want to hang on, which was that, yeah, you know, toward the end of that Lotus game, you were starting to see those guns start to come online a little bit more. But at that point, it was already too far gone. They had to catch up by an insurmountable amount of rounds.
Yeah.
Now you're starting from fresh. You got to get these guns hot early on. Maybe they can feed off of that.
I mean, it's Breeze. It's literally a DM map. So if you're not shooting back, it's kind of over for you, right?
Exactly. All right, folks. Well, Riven Van Silly are going to catch you on the other side of this one. We'll see you after this quick short break with Breeze.
We are back here at VCT Americas Stage 1 as we get that second map underway here soon. Sentinel's pick of Breeze is about to be on your screen. And you heard Ewok saying there, I hope the warm-up for the shooting has happened. We're going to be doing that, but we're also going to be more aggressive. So I'm excited to see what that means as they get onto Breeze.
Yeah, that's the silver lining for sure for the results of that first map that they started activating a little bit more. And yeah, now we get to see the agent select. An interesting comp coming out here on the side of Sentinels. When he said aggression, I was expecting this Neon, but I was not expecting an ISO to move along with it. So
I also feel like this should be this like swap. So Doc should be doing this on the other side, but it's Sentinels this time, bringing the Harbor and the ISO, like you said.
Think about this, though. You have a Slicer with a Neon, a Slicer with a Viper, a Slicer with a Harbor,
everything,
and then a wall for Redux. So scaling on the attack side should be, on paper, a lot easier to do for Sentinels. They'll have to see right now for KRU if they could stop that. And on their side, they're pulling up the chamber to try to help out here. But interestingly enough, also using an Omen instead of the Astra or a Harbor themselves. So I think Sadak is also adding a lot of importance into playing into verticality, which I think, quite honestly, outside of like the Harbor wall, the verticality could be quite good for this Omen against this comp here for Sentinels.
Yeah, if you're going to get into a wall game, why not? Figure out where people have been feeling safe and make it unsafe. Honestly, on the defensive side, it's like when you're getting sliced, where are the spots you're going to be hiding, right? How do they know who's going to be coming through what wall or what intersection that's created by all of these different walls? We're about to see in just a few seconds as we get in. See the players getting real ready. And this is going to be tough. If they don't get their aim on, KRU, again, they could walk all over SEN here to start the map. We did see SEN with a bit of resurgent at the end of map 1. It's the fact that they can carry it now into Breeze to make it count.
I'm so stoked to watch this second map too. Victor on a Neon 2 is also a key agent for him. You could pretty much identify Victor with Neon on Fracture back in the Optic days, but we'll hold that and see how it develops as Sentinels take the upper hand on the attack side with all these walls and gets the plant over on A.
No problem. Victor just be in there. Jonah P starts off the first blood of second map, taking down Dante, and that's going to slow down. Sadak, though, is not going to slow down. It's the same thing they did coming from C on Lotus, and now they're going to be hitting the site from the other side. The two-pronged attack just leaving Sentinels wondering which way they need to look. And KRU dropped them. A defuse, and only Dante was the one to go down.
And you see the difference on the triple swing from both sides.
Jeez.
Both two sides of the coin, night and day. For Sentinels right here, their first jiggle. The other two hesitate. Second one goes out alone. The other third just gave it up. While here, it's three guys swinging out through a smoke. You had different opportunities here on both sides to win and even up here the post plant scenarios, and even Sadak can't believe how easy it was for him to hold that flank.
They just redid the same strat. Different map, same strat. It applies. Overlay the two and watch it back. This is crazy, Vans. And they start off with that momentum. It's exactly what the first half looked like.
Yeah.
Or map, I should say.
I was going to mention here, with all these agents you currently have for Sentinels, the pulse plant should be quite good as well, and how you could cycle a lot of these walls too and make it difficult for a solo Sova to get info for the team, but the guns are good. Sentinels trying to go for a plant over on this B side, and this is a great opener at least here to bring the Econ back on their side.
Safety behind the wall. They're able to deny the recon. That's actually huge as they get a trade back in their favor. I'm not sure how this is happening, but we don't ask questions.
Yeah, we just absorb.
Yeah, just absorb. Let it be. A little creep up from Dante. Might backstab someone, but they are going to react fast and be able to cover each other right over the shoulder here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody can react. He gets another 2 judge kills. We saw it last time. Sadak over the wall. He's going to catch the back of Jonah P as well. It falls apart so fast. The Pistols were in such good position, but again, they're only Pistols, and Crew knew they could crunch down.
Yeah, the paranoia with the relay bolt just to cover over on the ladder sides. There was no way that Sentinels could really cut the crossfire with the 2-2 setup. These 2 guys have pistols. You're playing against a sliding Neon. The relay bolt's there on the other side, and they're stunned.
Yeah.
That's just so difficult there for Sentinels, but the idea was right. We just weren't ready for that combination, and also at least they get the plant. They did some good econ damage too. They almost made it doable.
God, both maps he's starting off crazy. I think Sadak had ult 3rd round on Lotus too. He is just fragging out.
I remember even on Lotus, it was Sentinels that want pistol, and they got ecoed after on that 2nd round, right? So.
And that's when yeah, you're right. Holy moly.
So Crew definitely has what it takes to play with confidence, how they could snowball these early halves here for both of these maps so far. And they're looking here with this bonus round to get some good damage by pushing all the way down and getting information. First blood for less.
Very interesting. Honestly, really only seeing Mata do stuff like that for energy, jumping out, being a moving sentry, and then back up so somebody can come out and swing.
And that's what I was talking about. Dante with the All Knights when he was playing in 2024, going up into Ascensions with, you know, the 2G against the 2G's rosters when we're talking about other Neons like Spike, for example. Now you're starting to see the true value here of what Dante brings, why he was picked up by Crew in the first place, and why maybe the decision of Crew is to continue forward with Dante as his star duelist build around instead of Keston. Went over to Envy.
Silence able to just shut down any knowledge of going on over at the B site. And an activated Sentinels here, spamming a bit through the wall, making sure they can get some tap damage down. And they're gonna have to survive this onslaught now to come in from Crew.
That's your best case scenario, to play mini Gulag inside of that smoke because there was so much util coming towards you. But you still see the stalls there.
Oh gosh. Dante waiting. The shotgun doesn't come out big for him that time as John Cutie and Victor are able to come up huge here, and now it's left up to Silence. The kill over at B brings that power back to the A site. Runs in, tries to close that gap. Against Victor here, standing in for the squad, goes for the defuse. Victor with a quick peek check. Oh! He goes for the insta repeak, which Silence is ready for. And he gets the quick defuse. Plenty of time here, and Crew are able to lock down the bonus.
Ah, that's the thing. Plenty of time where he shouldn't have had that time. After he tapped onto that spike on the 1v1, just before he got there too, he had to book it with the knife out.
Yeah,
so
he was
Victor
loud
heard
about
all
it.
of that the whole time. And then when you tapped on the spike, you still made noise as you were diving into a pool. So you know that he's still off spike. Yet you still want to try to go for the jiggle to try to catch your opponent off guard. On the instant tap. And yeah, that is very nicely done in the end for Silent. On the reaction time with even a chamber shot at the beginning.
Red Bull Clutch exciting the Argentinian watch party here. We see them live checking in on the team, crushing in the maps right now. And it is going to be a quick tech pause. I'm going to say quick. It's going to be a tech pause coming in here as we get into a possible 4th round. And guess what?
It was quick.
We're done. We're back in the game.
Okay, well, state of the game, though, we still had 3 plants, 3 defusals for Crew. So at least right now for Sentinels, they're making the combination of this comp work in terms of hitting hard, hitting fast, getting plant down. Pulse plant scenario is a different story right now. And this time they might have the extra slice needed here with this ult from John Cutie.
I'm out of here.
Who wants to buy into it?
Water through, just walls after walls. And now they swarm. Haven't really entered the site just yet. They're going to go for the left side and try to route the defense. KRU's kind of reading this. MW0 feels what's going down, and Sadak is just kind of looking left and right in the back, but keeping himself alive somehow. And now this page in silence rotated so fast. Cortezia sits him down.
It's you and me.
Oh.
Guaranteed round now.
Bam, there it is. 4 for Redux on that. Beautifully done in the ISO. And the pace of that hit was big. They couldn't go for the regular right side hit. They've done it too much. A little to the left, switch it up, and vary the play.
And again, good thing that you have something like Redux stepping up to the plate again, having to go nuclear. Another 4K in the round to keep a round in for Sentinels in this fight. But I think what's really seems to be hurting them too when they're actually executing with all of these walls. I was about to mention there's so many walls that a Sova dart should not get too much value. But so far, every time MW0 has been dropping a recon dart behind enemy lines, it has pinged out players on their executions.
My word. It's a little inside the park ace there if you count last round. Redux is feeling it right now, and they continue to fly through. This is the kind of stuff we were waiting for Redux to do as well. Coming online and just looking unstoppable. This Sean QD feels the sixth sense of someone behind him here.
Yeah, Sentinels read that too. Expecting a TP on top of the paranoia thrown by Sadak, and as they re-cleared, it was an easy kill to do as they held it inside of that smoke behind the drone. So kind of using a drone as a bait to get the punish onto Sadak, so that was really nice. Now they start early, a 5 versus 2. Even with a spike plan on the pulse plan, they're trying to chase down the last 2 players of KRU, and this is a great answer back, though, since the last couple of rounds that didn't pan out in their favor in these pulse plants.
Be nice to give Victor a few points here. There's one. It's almost like a double take. It's like, wait a minute, that is a person. But that is John Cutie cleaning it up. 3-2. This is kind of where we started the first map as well, before it was 4-2, and then just KRU sprinting away with a lead. It looks like Ewok's getting what he asked for. The aim is a bit more online with that warm-up of the first map here for Sentinels.
You could almost say that we're cruising.
Oh, I was going to say don't do it. You shouldn't have. I don't know if I can stop you, though.
Never.
4-3 ults ready here for the side of KRU.
Dude will definitely pull out the Total False right now for silence, so he's been very, very good holding up and anchoring this B site, but he's actually trying to use it for mid control quite early. They haven't seen too much early presence out on the side of Sentinels in front of B, but they're also making sure that they're rolling over all the rocks by throwing out this smoke on the ground. On the attack side, actually, to control the orb for Sentinels.
They're ready to activate on mid. Put that wall up, fire a dart down, get your drone up. You can see KRU is just waiting, but they're going to have this elbow insert of just basically every member of Sentinels come through here. Silence goes to fight it. He's going to peek it again. That is a choice. Victor takes him down quite easily. Maybe thinking that would have been solidified as he went through, but they did not on the orb. So it is going to be a B take here from Sentinels. Pretty easily taken with pistols to come back through.
And that's a silent assist for Jonah with the Owl drone too, because he couldn't get the ping, but he got all the info. So they stopped the bleeding too. You saw the positioning was quite nice from the Dota False set up by Silence. They attempted the shock dart to break down the shield to get that first blood. Although we'll hold that thought though. Sadak is back with the bandit.
He's not too hurt either. Still has a few shots to take in this situation, but they got a lot of work to do too.
Yeah, and you're hoping you don't need to use it, but this should still be a Sentinels round because they have that Hunter's Fury available for Jonah P, who's already playing offsite, so they're in prime position here to settle up and secure this.
Last player standing.
Instead of run and gun, it's gun and run. Pick it up and do the work. Oh my gosh. Nice damage there by MW0 at the end, but it's going to be Sentinels round, and that's the important part. They are having to battle through these quite a bit, but it's better that they're getting them in the W column.
Yeah.
That one.
It was a nice try though, and again, I think it's KRU put themselves in the right positions as well. After they saw that harbor smoke in front of that B site controlled. Okay, the rotate should be coming back here somewhere else if there's no pressure coming in from that front B site. So you are trying to.
By the way, I see the bear.
Close in. To close in and try to break the shields.
All right. What do we have here from timeout? That actually is a lot more in like the chatter and back and forth for what KRU is doing. Last time, Zonic was kind of just here and there offering advice, but yeah, he has some stuff to say. So feeling like he has to get in the ear of the team more so on Breeze as Sentinels have kept this even.
Well, from the looks of it, again, the last round was a little bit more of a mixed buy that you kind of had with a couple of players being quite low. But they were quite punished easily when on Lotus they weren't. Yeah. When they were throwing a couple of rounds where they wanted to try to play aggro with Util to follow up and allowing Dante to activate a bit to get an opener, he's been sat down right away.
Yeah.
What's been good for them, at least in terms of the results, is how good they've been on just attacking back onto Sentinels as soon as Sentinels gets on site. So they didn't want to leave that space for Sentinels to take, so that they could just start flooding back on that side. And you're seeing here, at least from the setup at the beginning of this round, that they're not trying to go for any of these type of trap plays. They're just trying to control and maintain, again, from the look of the smoke here of the Omen of Sadak.
Let's take a listen to Sen here and see how they're feeling about these rounds.
Gotcha.
Hold the top with me when it fades.
I'm peeking off you mid, I mean.
Yeah.
They use another Omen smoke. They want a main.
Okay, just listen to me. Yeah, they want a main. Come forward. We're gonna do 4 A split. For mid and Sova solo A.
Yeah,
can we peek this together, Victor?
Yeah,
I'm going wide. 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna just stay mid and watch flank, okay?
Just, I think you can just use your shield from close and we just
Sova jump elbow, I think. Sova jump elbow.
Yeah, I think they might be in the orb. You gotta cover us.
Somebody want to jump.
Take bomb.
We need to get going.
Wall down.
Just trying to think of everything that could kind of buff their situation. Someone's in the orb, someone's here.
I have neon.
One flanking elbow.
Nothing bricks.
I'm blind.
Hey, hold on.
Dead.
Nice.
Go, kill him.
Where?
Just go with me.
Get a smoke. Open smoke.
Dead.
Nice.
I can ult him.
Okay, waiting.
Go with me.
He's blind on the left.
Default. Sight.
I want blind yellow. I'm ulted out.
Omen is yellow.
One chamber.
He ulted out.
Chamber nest.
They're closing in on these calls. It's so cool to see.
30 seconds.
I'm planning to say 4v2. Chamber has up.
Chamber was nest. He was nest.
I'm smoking your right, Vic. Okay, well done.
I'm just going with
Flank.
Flank. Nice.
W bait.
You're my savior.
Flores got.
You should chase.
He should chase.
Wall up and down here, forcing the gun to come out, and you already see it now. Silence forced to fall back and save his op.
I mean, I don't know if it was mid TP, but he was
looked
here.
Very good here for the comms of Sentinels. As I mean, if you guys don't know, John Cutie.
Yeah.
We all know him like that. But he was basically calling they want the A main, let's try to just go for heavy 4 players on middle. It was dangerous, because if you looked from the mini-map, though, you already had 4 players contested on that side of KRU on the other side.
Right.
What really helped Sentinels to really start opening things up, though, is not only on Jonah P's droning on the A side to get the info if they actually took control of main, but it also allows here for saying, okay, well, it's empty here, we could actually ult into the doors and start activating that spot, and you saw the bloodbath and the trades coming in favor of Sentinels right after.
And it trickled down from the somebody's maybe an orb. Okay, there's only one site. You know they're all towards mid. Then one of those players is going to get hit by the kill contract no matter what, basically.
It comes to show how fast you have to pivot from time to time, too, based on the macro you're trying to bring at the beginning of the round. So great pivot and calls, and all the players around Sentinels seem quite vocal towards what they want when they want to start activating as well. It's not only on John Cutie setting up the plan, but it's your duelists too, looking for the setup.
You did get that initial, though. Okay, listen, this is what we're going to...
Yes,
There's a point when the round is his. It's very cool to see. All right, 4-3. Sentinels grab the lead here. The first time in the series, really. And it's going to be Silence looking to get this round back. Less hiding with the classic over here on the right side. This Redux is going to make quick work of him. John Cutie with the Phantom, and they're kind of getting scattered on this Sova ultimate. As they get the plant down, Sentinels are in a pretty good position.
Yeah, still winning good fights, too. Although all of them kind of isolated, they still have numbers. Unfortunately, though, that's going to change. John Cutie has to come up huge again on the 1v1 inside the Gulag, and gets it now for Sentinels.
Oof.
It almost looked like it was going to fall apart, though, for how we executed for Sentinels in the first place. It feels like we...
I didn't buy wall. Oh my god, I'm trolling.
I was about to say. Because there was a gap there on the top of Nest. Why are they scaling up there with a wall and then a free kill from the top of Nest? And then looks like John Cutie realized here that he didn't buy a wall. Couldn't wall up and section off the top of Nest into the B site, but still gets a 4K for the team. So he He saved himself from the embarrassment.
It's looking good. Timeout's not going to matter here for the side of Crew. Sentinels just pushing through. And actually put everybody, I say everybody, but we still see Cortezia on the left side of the map here towards A for a bit of ruckus in the beginning of the round. Make the noise, drone it out, bring the Crew defense to this side. But it doesn't look like they're biting to this play just yet, fans.
And this is good old signature Sadak. Play close with the judge and try to find your timing. So he gets droned out, but he repositions himself because of that second smoke that came through, and it was no pressure coming out here from the Sentinel squad.
Swinging together once again. You can almost still hear it in their heads. 1, 2, 3 as they get themselves to safety. And yeah, Crew still reads it again. Sadak just completely moving with Sentinels on the other side of the map.
And they're okay with that for Sentinels too. It almost looked like they were trying to cut rotates in the first place by having Cortezia inserted, but after that, if they're trying to go for the sight hit, you still have a pit to work out with for. And then they make sure they grab this orb too, so you're sectioning a lot of that sight.
30 seconds left.
Big dividers coming through. Dante wants to be in their face, and he's able to successfully capitalize with 2 to start. Sprinting over is Sadak to already be on the mid side, so nobody can rotate out or lurk on his team. He's going to go for the backstab as Les and the rest of the team make quick work of what's in the sight. Wait a minute, Professor. Class is in session for a moment here. Can he get himself to safety? He doesn't realize he's still surrounded. And Les is just about to creep into the situation with eyes on the prize. Jonah P goes down there, and Crew, they correct any mistakes on that one, but lose a few members.
Crazy that they get that around, though, from inserting a judge on both sides, both extremities. And right over here, that scaling, the wall was actually pushed all the way out towards ladder for them to try to scale on that left side. But then Dante just found his timing again. Getting more impact frags this time around than what he showed in terms of numbers on that first map of Lotus, but definitely making this salvageable for Crew as they were starting to lose a lot of rounds here since this round number 4. Sentinels are looking pretty good with how they're operating here on their attack side. Looking at these positioning, they're looking for this early mid control.
Fast. They've actually expected people to be here in mid to fight right away, so they really want to get themselves into the fight as soon as possible. Walls on walls to get the space they need, and they only have to look at a few angles here. Whoa! See, Dante's actually going to peek out of that one on his own. Still goes for more. He's going to get 3 Vans. How is he doing this? No way! Back and forth, the pillar, his saving grace to be able to get a 4K in sight, and Silence finishes that one off just towards the spawn side. What an amazing round from Dante.
And that's what I'm talking about. Jumping through, sliding across, isolating the first fight right over here through the harbor wall. But secondly, getting info from his teammate. There's 2 players pushing him. He gets the assist, which is less here from the snake bite. But just realizing the timing of how he could pick up these fights is such a difference.
I love when we saw them coming through tunnel, you saw him peek the wall, and you're like, oh, he knows they're coming. He'll hide, slides out. Like crazy, crazy play.
He almost has to put the Dios back into his name because he's playing God mode right now.
Yeah. I agree with that. He's actually taken a moment to realize what he just did in spawn. His Silence gets a kill. He'll still be over towards the A action with Victor going down, slowing down Sentinels here to start. And this looks like it might just fizzle out altogether. Late to the round, second to the party. Dante picks up Cortezia. Oh my gosh, those look close. John Cutie doesn't take too much to the wall. None, actually.
And he's just trying to keep them at base so the other guys could activate here on the other side of the site, hoping to get a kill.
My ult is ready.
Jeez.
No distraction.
Just cat and mouse on this wall.
Player standing.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to get out of. Redux takes a shot. Doesn't even get to open his eyes when he wakes up from the nightmare. 6-5 here for Crew.
I think a bad timing in the end because there was 2 guys over on that A side too, and I think he was trying to just ulti for somebody close, and then hopefully his teammate could trade if he dies, but I think he lost his teammate just in the last second. And that becomes a freebie because the rest of Crew could just collapse onto John Cutie towards the door, and that's it. Cortezia right at the bricks.
That hit on the trademark trap just right out in the open. So many little things are getting caught on here on the side of SEN. But can they get the 6th round? They had that 5-round surge before KRU is able to battle back. And it looks like they're just going fundamental sight hit on this one, or I should say default sight hit. Straight through. Still getting spammed by Sadak. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So now the 3v5, Dante finds another one there. You can see the assists coming through, the trademark hit as well. And yeah, oh, the little tricks are catching Sentinels off guard. A quick trade there slows down the fight, but it looks like Sentinels are not going to be getting out of this one alive. John Cutie and Jonah P left alive here, the two with the veteran status on this squad that you'd be looking for to capitalize on a round like this. And it's only going to be John Cutie left. He gets going to zap down. There it is, 7-5 for KRU. They're kind of playing with their food at this point, knowing where they are, just taking their time and deciding who can get it. And KRU seem to be in full control here.
Yeah, what a time to activate for Dante, too, for the last couple of rounds. I think it was like, what, 3 and 6 or something like that, finishing on the top of the scoreboard at 14 and 10. That said, though, so good in these spam lines for all this team. KRU came back. They take a comfortable lead going into the second half now.
Wild stuff from KRU. It is going to be another tough second half for Sentinels. Let's see if they can battle back.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Seven to 5 here for KRU. They come back in the first half to make sure they take the lead, and they have been reading Sentinels left and right from Lotus and now to Breeze. It's how they continue to take these rounds. Sentinels has to buck the trend. They have to get out of this kind of back and forth that Sadak's able to read.
Yeah.
Ewok said they're coming in aggressive, they're coming in crazy. Let's see what they got now. They did bring the squad to do it.
And KRU played as aggressive.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
When
they tried to go hotter on that side.
When they tried to go too aggressive, they were punished, and you saw that Sentinels were able to string a couple of these rounds for sure, but when they went back to their tried and true of this very map of Breeze to play the Flood retake, man, was it looking good for them. Now on the attack side, though, with the Neon at the point, Redux is already low HP trying to walk down, though.
Focus. Destabilizing.
Tries to get that cut through. And Victor will get a little bit off it. But it doesn't look like they want to push too far. Shots across the map are happening. And yeah, Bless is able to pick back up on that. Then the shoulder shot to Redux, low HP. What an opening of B site just like that. And Sent probably felt like they had control of the round right there.
This is scary. Both of them, too, with Sheriffs. I mean, it's Sheriffs across the board.
No.
But less with the Sheriff is always good.
Cannonballs? What is happening here? They're going to let him keep going for it. We're going to get a lot of aces in this game, aren't we?
Oh, no.
Okay. Jonah P's one shot. Cortezia. So 3 more, and he's through this. Oh, God.
Everyone's going to ace.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Vans. Una mas. Oh, doesn't get it. And they were just going for it, too. It was a gentleman's agreement up there for a moment. You love that. Just on the side, silence is like, all right, I'll wait. You guys go ahead.
The fact that he falls is just like, wait up. Let me just go back on the boxes and try to find him again.
Oh, my gosh.
And that's the thing. It was a great start for Sentinels by pressuring down towards that middle. But because they had to leverage John Q to even slice up the mid side, they had to give up the B site. You had 2 players who are able to lurk in. So John gets the first easy kill, but then never saw Les sneak through. And then you see how much damage Les could do now when he's given these opportunities.
Revealing area.
Now, once again, Sentinels have to fight backs against the wall, just trying to farm up ults as much as they could, and that definitely will be heard here from the side of Silence, who calls that aggressive B push. But then for the rest of the crew, they're doing the same thing, controlling the A side orb, making sure here that the drone's going to get some good info for the team. This is an interesting Viper wall, though, giving a lot more space than usual and just trying to punish players through the line of scrimmage. Crew just wants to wait for it. Comes down. Here comes the fights.
Honestly, it's so awkward to be in this front space. Fighting back and forth. Dante has been cruising into these positions so well right now. Less hiding. They're just quick work of Sentinels right now. The smokes are up. They're playing a cat and mouse game, letting Sentinels make the first move. Honestly, it's just patience right now, but it looks like fast play from Crew. They're just kind of letting it fall into their hands.
Yeah. Like I said, they wanted to play it safe. The drone doesn't spot anybody. You have no real information outside of the orb being tapped towards that B site, and you have no active info towards middle, so you don't know if they're walking down mid, if they're stacking B, if they're stacking A. So now you just got to make sure that the team stays as a group. The wall comes down, they find all that information, and now they have better weapons to fight against. So, again, through any type of pressured scenario, they seem very, very stoic right now for Crew for these fights.
And they have less walls.
Yeah.
Using the walls that they have. Oh my gosh, Dante going in so fast. I don't know if anybody would have lived through that here. Let's see if they can get another round in their favor as MW Zera starts off quick. They have a say, though. Finally, they have a say. It has not been Sentinels able to attack back right away. Too much of a gap. Oh, my God. How? Sadak with a beautiful kill from behind, and the backstab is now at the 2v2, waiting to get control of the site before the full plant. They're looking to help each other before they do that. That's in the open. Oh, he's in the open. He still stays alive, though, on the swing. Cortezilla is there to get it. It just looks like they are okay with taking each other toe-to-toe in these situations instead of getting the swings in, playing it proper. They're kind of losing the moment to play the game.
And not afraid of baiting out the spike plant. So they tap it every single time, always double swung towards the end, too. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now, knowing that they could just outduel Sentinels so far. And they almost made it happen in our bonus round. Remember, with Spectres, Bulldogs. Definitely a huge sign of relief there for Ewok.
Yeah.
But again, control of the economy, understanding where the state of the game right now. You've wasted so many weapons on the side of Sentinels that your buy now is full of half shields. They pull out an outlaw here for Silence, and he's been really good on the scope this time around. Mimi talked about dueling for the side of Crew. That always falls in their favor, so why not use these outlaws against them?
He's a B, guys.
Ó, era isso, eu vejo aí, Wanderer, talvez.
Cabra no seu contato, Dante.
Tá, beleza.
O Waze tava lá na base.
Mano, não tenho certeza que nenhum tá DV de
Ok. Acho que começa dronando ali atrás.
Mano, eu posso fazer uma mole se você tem tanta certeza.
Isso. Faz essa mole aí, mano.
Vou dronar o A.
Ó, drone não.
So early info towards A main.
Avançada aqui. Nenhum avançada.
Neon tá. Dá para aplicar. B.
Quem que era?
So patient
12
here,
provável.
waiting for that time tick down before they activate. You see the spike down already, and they're, This is kind of what they did on Lotus. Go, insert, find things, let them rotate, and Les will be there to give them a hug.
And there's the next insert from Darren that's chamber in the front side while they're making noise.
Vai esquerdão, vai pra esquerda.
Jeez.
Always playing with somebody behind their backs here. On these backstabs for Sentinels.
He's still ready. Les again. Another one, an elbow as we rotate.
Tava CT na pub. Sim, foi CT.
Caralho, velho.
Atrás de você, Sérgio.
It's like a round of who's watching who so far here.
Caralho!
John Q did as much as he could on a 5 versus 1. But man, that was clinical there by Crew. Very well dissected that map. As they saw the neon, looks like Sentinels have to be a little bit more active around the map, trying to find the information. They peek out in the open to get punished instantly. And then now you have so much of the map to work with while Sentinels are plugging the gaps for the other spots. They get backstabbed right after.
And a timeout from SEN right away. After the round, we see Ewok was fist bumping because they got that bonus. Sadak knew what the team needed to do, gets them through. I mean, they all did, right? You said silence behind the outlaw. It's coming from everyone's brain right now. A 10-6 scoreline here in the second half on Sentinel's map of Breeze. And KRU are looking fantastic right now. We expected, you know, a lot from, I think, a Sadak team or Sadak in general, right? Whether it would be from agents, whether it would be from the meta he's going to bring in or how the team runs. And it looks like everybody is just gelling from the start. The way that Sadak plays behind Dante when they pushed on Lotus, when they pushed on Breeze out of B into A. Yeah. It's just everything seems so synced up already for this squad.
I would almost think that the conversation with him and Coach Zonic too, looking at their KRU roster, is like, okay, well, we got, again, an amalgamation of players that have had flex and sentinel roles in their career in 2025, mostly from in different regions and in challengers. Now let's play to our comfort picks, right? Let's not think outside of the box yet. See if this works out. Let's get the feel of the game. So you're seeing like everybody pretty much best in slot right now for KRU.
And SEN as well. I mean, I've been loving watching Victor play again. Obviously, first into the fights, no hesitation on what he needs to do on the Neon. Just honestly riding a bike for Victor to get back in here. So that's been awesome to see, and he's getting it.
And that was the thing with Optic Gaming too. When he was trying to create space for the team, he was doing so. Yes, he was dying a lot in his scenarios, but he was actually activated enough for the rest of the team to follow behind. I want to see that more from Sentinels too, just to make sure that they were working in tandem to go for these team fights into their favor.
Sheriff Damage is the name of the game for SEN this time. So maybe pick up a side weapon here if they can pummel somebody with 3 members of the team. No. There's one, but it's only an outlaw. It's not going to bring the round back into your favor per se.
Welcome to my world.
Especially with a pit trying to retake with an outlaw, going to be tough.
It doesn't work as well as a shotgun. Sadak on an elevation again. The man lives up here.
That's what we're talking about too, the elevation that would be a pain point to deal with for the side of Sentinels. Although not seeing anybody yet.
No distractions.
Favoring that Omen over the Astra, and we can see how many little things he can do with it. Ooh. Tricks he plays.
Hold on.
The shots he makes. The shots he makes. Redux takes him down though in the end. 4K for Redux to defuse. 2 come through here as long as he doesn't cut the wrong wire. And they're good for another round. Let's see it. 10-7.
That's another 4K from Redux, and also winning the ult with a Sheriff. He domain expansion with a Sheriff and still won it. Look at his retake. One through the smoke. Okay, that's a lucky one. And that activated the kill contract for him, so that was a huge kill to take for the side of Redux to allow Sentinels to win this one here.
Yo, we can win!
There it is. There it is. Cubert's happy now, too. He's not getting squished to death. We're on the up. Let's see what happens. All right.
That was a huge round to win, too. An eco round for Sentinels. Now they have a lot of economy. Now Victor can bring out the op, and he scores that first blood.
Victor with the op. As if we forgot. He's going to keep pushing out here. Ultimate's ready! He says pull. Dante jumps. Dante is sat down. Another one here towards the top. Your top fragger for SEN right now. John Cutie putting another one on the board and putting a little bit of stink on it. And now this 5v2, they look to get a flawless round as they're going to start trading with the ops.
Dude, he's got the killer look right there for John Cutie, man. He wants to win this game. He wants to pull the team back right now, and it feels like they've done so with amazing 2 op kills from Victor. And maybe here for the rest of KRU, they're going to have to save because as much as it was pretty one-sided in the second half, they're also finally down to their last expenses for KRU Visa. So they might have to start using their visas now to hopefully get a decent buy in the next around this op and his vandal that they're going to save.
Jonah P ult coming online.
30
Viper ult going to come online here. A lot of ways to just sync up more rounds for the defensive side. And then you kind of have a fail-safe if you do need to screen through with the overdrive. Should be an easy win. 15 seconds here for Sentinels. The timeouts are paying off, though. I got to say, some of them have just not mattered from coaches, but the pivotal ones right now, you know, Ewok getting this one in for SEN to and make sure they have the right idea for their final rounds to come through.
Yeah. Nice for Glenn, even run out to pick up an orb. Redux is trying to do the same thing so he could get closer to his
That's an orb.
Kill contract. Yeah, it's still a point there. And they still have economy to work with, so it's not too bad for him to lose his life there with that push. Yeah, what a shot. That one, dude, was nice.
Those
Shows that
feel-
he's still got it in terms of aim now.
Those feel good. You hit those few to start, you know the next ones are, you take more confident shots. You take, I should say, riskier shots because you're more confident. You miss the first few and you still stay back on that angle. You're like, oh, maybe not. We might see Victor go ham at this point now. He's already on a forward angle on B, actually looking to step up more. So yeah, the confidence is there.
And he can instantly rotate thanks to that.
Okay, ripped off the top. Little haircut for Sadak. Okay, right back at ya. Cortezia goes down on that one, and the follow-up damage as well onto John Cutie.
Thing is, they've already closed that gap now for Sentinels. And like a crew, they're deciding to flip that map across to fight towards Troll.
Ooh, they take all of orange. And now SEN has to kind of audible this and figure out the way they want to cover it. Okay. He's like, I don't see anybody, but I think they see me. Is a good call to back out there. Jonah P gets the fight going, but we're not fully bought into this just yet. They got to figure out where Sadak is. The Stinger's going to be able to backstab in the end.
Oh.
One from Silence. Sees the move, and I don't even think that Jonah P knows he was seen there, and he gets picked off by Sadak. The little things that they're putting into their gameplay just make the rounds go in their favor. Crew pick up 11.
That's crazy. Getting value too off the 2 rifles that they saved in that previous round. Silence and MW0 taking value out of that. It almost feels like one of those simple things from Sadak. He gets pinged out by the recon. He TPs towards the spawn just to pull the defenders back and kind of reset the information that they get off the dart. And then now they're just getting out positioned from the smoke right after. And they get picked off. That was super nice.
The battle of the IGLs this game. 20 kills for Sadak, 18 for John Cutie, and John and Sen looking to push this to a map 3 with all their might here at the end. We start off round 20. Operator still in hand for Victor. There's some ults there to use. Cortezia can stall a site with the ult, but they're choosing not to right away. They want this retake potential.
Almost looks like they want to crunch back towards middle and take control of that before having to retake towards the A side. Remember, they have so many slicers on the map, or on the roster.
Go, go, go.
Dante, forward mark there, sets up Sadak to get taken down as Victor takes the longer angle. It's just going to be a fast lane really quick to make him think something's going down. Here comes a rotation over from Sentinels. More kills from them, all ready to squash this attack from Crew. Exactly what Sentinels need at this point to keep Crew off at 12.
Oh.
1.
He's getting tagged. They're chasing him down. He's actually isolating fights too. Cortezia already closed that gap though, as you saw him rotate from the top of middle into elbow. Now he's just trying to see if, he wants to let Sentinels come to him, and thankfully it's an op that closes the gap. And speaking of closing the gap, Sentinels are only 2 away of being able to tie up this game.
And they have started to bring that aim game online, that's for sure. And it is structured in these ones too. Both of those last kills had anchor players, right? Somebody helping you out, double face on the peak. Really coordinated there from Sen here as they kind of slow the pace down a bit so they can get more out of everything that they're doing.
Yeah. I think right now for Crew, it's difficult for them to try to play the walk contact as you're walk contacting into an op. And you also have to figure out the right moments to maybe try to drone out here to activate through that and be a little bit more grouped up here for these hits. Right now for Sentinels, they haven't been looking to get any aggressive lines here over towards A and middle. The only time I've seen the push out was Victor towards that front B site where they were able to be quite good in terms of fast rotates after. But the next thing is John Cutie's position. He's currently playing a lot of top middle towards that nest. So if Crew does start adding a little bit of pressure towards that mid side, there's not going to be any high tides to stop like a wall over on A if they want to try to go for splits after. So again, it'll be an opportunity for them to play a little bit more slowly and default more for that mid control so that it can finally take control over on that A side. That's my TLDR for that.
All right.
Probably won't be this round though, because we have 2 rifles and pistols. I'm gonna play a little bit more slowly so that Silence can maybe try to get an opener with this ult.
Oh. That's a scary op spot. Victor squeezes out. He lives. Oh, Victor's the scary one in that spot. Apparently, Sadok's trying to push forward here as they're pinching from multiple sides. The wall drops, and yeah, Sadok's ready to fire through that on the line.
That recon was huge once again. 2 assists there for MW0.
Spike planted.
From getting the pings onto 2 players, so focused to try to take down Dante in the front side. And now the map's been flipped. Even a scenario. KRU's at the advantage in the post plan.
I think it's one of the things KRU is benefiting on so well. Not that. Sean Cutie takes a shot and hits Silence. Now evening up the numbers. Les gonna move forward into the smoke. Looking to pull a shotgun. Oh, it pulls out the Sheriff! What is the thought there? And he still gets it. Gonna be alive on the other side. It's all about time now. It's all about playing his life. Les is going to try to push off with a Viper Bite just away, and he's not going to give enough to peek. And that's going to be it. Very nicely done. Les goes down, could not get to it. And John QD.
You almost think he made a mistake by switching from the Bucky to the Sheriff, but still domes his opponent.
You thought he did. You're like, oh no, it's a close shot. You need to have that. Holy moly.
Yeah, let me just do a quick 1-5-5 there in the dome. Look at that.
Oh my word. Maybe he thought he was going to be faced with 2 people and he had to go for a fast shot or something, but still only need to hit the 1 and done.
And still has util, pulls the snake bite on the ground, closes the gap with the Bucky, like he is.
And the snake bite didn't even give the advantage to peek left too.
Exactly.
Oh, so smartly played instead of just putting it right on the spike. Crazy stuff. And right into B. Right, look at that. Look at the peeking. The drone on the left side, but he's also weaving vision to both sides of the team. Oh my gosh. I feel like my hair's coming out here watching these guys pulling it out with how crazy it must be. Redux doing what he can inside the kill contract, but they all come out to the nightmare once again as Les and Silence are putting the finishing touches on, and it's Cortezia now outside the site. It feels like the last few rounds just happened in the blink of an eye. And this one even quicker. That's MW0 taking down Cortezia. KRU come out swinging for their first game of Stage 1 to take down Sentinels.
A new crew was formed to run the town. And today, they rule over SEN City. And that with some amazing calling coming out from Sadok. And seeing a resurgence of players that kind of fell short from all of 2025. If you're looking at the whole roster from MW0, Dante, Sadok, Silence, Les, none of them have found any results in 2025 for any team that they played. And now they formed together in this matchup against Sentinel, who's also in a current rebuild. But they definitely came out stronger today.
I think that is a common goal as well. That all of them, not goal, but they come from that position.
Yeah.
Where nobody's saying, yo, I need this, I'm the main player, he's the main player, he needs that. Everybody's there to play.
Yeah.
And they, like we said, they come from those positions where last season might not have been great, last stage, a few stages, and they're there with the passion. And we're seeing that come through. A team of unlikely players coming together here.